You know, he's seen no sign from Zoe Anderson that she has the flush.
I mean, you say the poker gods must be crazy. Some of the hands we've seen tonight. Oh, what
he
a
does
check.
check his 3 count.
Discipline, the better part of valor there. And Norman Pace can pat himself on his back.
And look at Zoe Anderson, who's won this pot, looks very nervous even as the chips are pushed her way.
I mean, they say sometimes a player gets more nervous with a good hand than a bad hand. Do you find that true?
Yes, for sure. You know, the excitement that's going on inside you when you make that hand, you know, and realize you've won. It's kind of like winning the lottery in a small way.
It may be the first big pot Zoe Anderson has won in her poker career. Spades on the flop, the 5th spade on the turn. That's a flush. And the 3 kings by Norman Pace could not catch up.
Yeah.
Leaderboard scrolling around, and Billy Murray in first position, seconded by Zoe Anderson. How about that for topsy-turvy?
Well, you know, Billy Murray's obviously not going to give any chips away, and Zoe Anderson, that might have been the first flush she's ever made. She's only been playing poker for a short time, and we have seen some really interesting poker play here.
I know it's boring, but I'm going to have to raise.
Raise.
Norman Pace with a
8,000
pair of pocket tens. I mean, for players like Norman Pace and Michael Greco and Steve Backley as well, it's going to be a very tough exercise for them to dance and dive around this table.
Well, yes, because they're not going to be sure of what they're up against, because the players themselves aren't exactly sure. So anything can happen, and probably will here tonight.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about this, Ken, is we're probably seeing Billy Murray, Zoe Anderson, their first time ever playing. You know, I mean, 12 months from now,
right?
If you have another look at Zoe and Billy,
right,
you know,
they're going to look back at this. They're going to look back at this and say, "Oh,
they could just be ramming and jamming with the best of them." I mean, that's one of the great things about poker is, you know, you can go from
raise.
Raise announced by Zoe.
You can learn very quickly, and she's learned to be aggressive as she puts in a raise with the King 7.
Well, she's going to scare the bejesus out of Norman Pace if an overcard comes to his 10.
Because exactly, because you know she checked with the nuts, so now she's raising. He's got to figure his 10s are no good, even though they are at this point, as we can see, because we can see their whole cards.
8 more to call.
8,000 on Backley, who all of a sudden finds himself in a 40,000 chip pot, 48,000 to be exact. And
now, if Zoe Anderson makes a continuation bet after this flop, that's what it's called. You've taken the lead before the flop, and you continue after the flop. She has a very good chance of winning this hand. Will she make the continuation bet?
God, I hope so.
Check. Check.
She does not.
Well, that's good for Norman Pace. He's going to find out where he's at.
Nice bet by Norman Pace.
Good stuff. And that might take care of Zoe.
Well, Zoe's problem is that she won the hand by the last hand she knows by pulling off a card on the turn, so she might be tempted to call.
You can pass if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can raise that up. It's entirely up to you. The minimum raise up to 40,000.
Zoe's asked for her options.
Yep.
Which is a good thing to do if you're not sure. You always ask the dealer. The dealer will always tell you, Kenna. And Norman Pace's heart dropped into the seat of his pants when she asked how much she could raise. He got grimmer than the Reaper, but now happy to take that pot.
Well, you know, faced with uncertainty, it's a scary thing.
How could he call a raise there? It would have been very, very tough, wouldn't it have?
Would have been better if it finished there. Yeah.
Zoe decided not to take the plunge.
Sitting down, I think it's the thing that most gets your adrenaline running. I mean, I've been a sportsman all my life. I used to be a PE teacher before I got into show business, and I've always played some kind of sport, and the thrill that that gives you. Well, poker, you know, to find poker, I'm in my 50s now, to find it so late in my life, and to sit there at a table or even at a computer and feel adrenaline surging through your veins, it's got to be a thrill, isn't it?
Can you see yourself sipping champagne and playing craps a la James Bond in some of the most glamorous casinos in the world? If that's a yes, you'll love our competition to win a trip to the gorgeous Monaco. Up for grabs, we're giving away flights, accommodation and £500 spending money for 2 people to enjoy hobnobbing with the rich and famous in the ultimate millionaire's playground. For your chance to live out your Playboy fantasies, just answer the following question. A pair of kings can also be known as A. Cowboys, B. Indians, or C. Sheriffs. To enter, go to www.5.tv/poker and answer the question. Entrants must be over 18 and the competition closes at midnight on the 12th of September.
The stars are out tonight, Jesse.
I tell you, they're all here.
You're sweating.
Absolutely sweating. I don't know what's
A
going on.
rugby player, a javelin thrower, comedian, a writer, actors.
Michael Greco waking up with pocket king, or pocket queens rather, the ladies.
Billy Murray going to peel off at the present moment.
King Jack.
It's going to cost you 5,000 more.
Or you
Okay,
can
or
raise.
you can
Total of
cash your
6,000
cards,
from
Or
Greco.
you can raise. Cool.
I mean, in the World Series of Poker, Canada, Matt Dawson with the 2-10s.
Right.
Re-raise.
So we got 10s against queens here. We're going to see some action. I think something is going to develop here.
I think
We've got a lot
Dawson-
of big hands out there.
I think he's announced re-raise. He stuck red chips in.
16,000 more.
A total of 16,000 more. Will Greco push?
Yeah.
Re-raised, all in.
Greco's had enough of this, you know,
I've seen enough.
small pot betting. He's going to try and take down the pot right here.
All in, a message that
Come on.
everybody
I've got
understands.
some pastry to make.
And even Dawson.
Are you calling? No, I'll call. Oh,
Cool?
cool. Yeah.
Cool?
Dawson thinking about folding there, and Greco just talked him into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's filthy. I knew there was something that was going to come.
Mate, it's not over yet.
It's not over, you're right. But
I
he's
don't
got
know if
2
that's proper
to help
etiquette to call the queens
Anyone
filthy.
fold a 10?
Well, Dawson, tough as nails in his sporting
Watch it,
career.
I'm telling you. Positive.
He's going to have to
Positivity is the key
find
to
a
poker.
couple hard 10s in the deck. They're not there yet.
5, 6, 7. Dawson needing a 10 to
Yeah, I wouldn't
continue
wanna
on.
see that. I
Greco
don't want to see an 8 and a 9.
will knock him out.
Yeah, this is the first hand Greco's played. He's got all his chips in the middle.
God, it was a nice
That
kick.
ace could have been happy for some of the players who folded, but just river card coming.
It's a 5.
guys.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Matt Dawson, our first celebrity out of this heat. He found good cards to play.
Cooking.
Anyone
Got
have an
his
ace?
chips in and
No one had an ace.
now push his chair back to the table.
Couldn't risk going up in.
Matt Dawson's seen off some of the biggest names in the world of rugby, collecting Grand Slams and a World Cup winners' medal along the way. But tonight, Pocket 10s proved his undoing. He's the first player back in the dressing room. He's with Kenner and Jesse now.
Well, Matt Dawson just knocked out 2 10s. Commiserations, Matt. It seemed like you had an instinct that maybe you wanted to fold those hands when Greco pushed in like that.
No, I thought the hand was going to be all right. Pocket 10s sort of averages a go. If someone goes all in, you never know. Looking back on it, I suppose Michael hadn't been in I don't think he'd been in one hand for the whole.
He's so
whole
tight,
first
isn't he?
level. Exactly. So I think I should have probably maybe taken stock a little bit, but it was just there were not a lot of cards coming around. I was just felt like playing a bit of poker and probably got a little bit impatient, but it was okay. Good fun.
Well, I think if you push with 10s every time you find them, you're going to come out ahead in the long run. I mean, it is a strong hand, isn't it, Kenna?
Very well
Still
played.
5 left, though, and Greco looking very strong.
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.